Okay, so showed you one type of shelter with the ridge line and the tarp. This time I'm going to show you one that's a little bit different. This is a one-sided shelter. It does give you more room, so it might be better for two people, but we'll show you this one. It's a little bit different from the first video. Still have my ridge line set up. I actually loosened it a little bit, and I'll show you why I do that here in a second. But our tarp is basically going to be just one side of the ridge line. And when we do this, we might want to take into consideration where is any wind coming in from. So if the wind is blowing from one direction to the other, we want to block that wind from reaching us. Quick test. Grab some leaves, drop them. Wind's kind of blowing back towards us this way, so we're going to have our shelter on this side to keep the wind from getting to us. Okay? With this shelter, I'm going to be using sticks again on my tarp. I'm going to be using the eyelets on the top side though. It's a little bit different strategy this time. So basically, what you're going to do, you're going to take your rope. Remember I said I loosened it a little bit so that I can push the rope up through the eyelet. And it's still a little tight, so I'm going to go loosen it again. Slide it, and that loosens our rope for us. So, starting with a corner, I'm going to take the rope, I'm going to bend it a little bit, and push it up through the eyelet. Okay, now to keep it from falling out, we need one of our trusty sticks. Just break a little piece of it off. Push the rope up through the eyelet, and then put your rope around the stick. Now, it's not going to come out. Okay, so now we're going to do that with each eyelet on the tarp until we're finished. Okay, so I have all the eyelets with the rope to it, with a stick securing it. Now, you might notice it's kind of loose in some areas, so I'm going to go through and tighten those up. To do that, I'm just going to slide the tarp down the rope. Now, it's pretty tight here, so I'm going to have to play with it a little bit so that I can slide the tarp down. Twisting that stick kind of helps me out a little bit. Okay, now the same thing on the other end. It's tight in the middle. Down here it's kind of loose. I'm going to adjust that so that we can get the tarp nice and tight. Okay, so the top of our tarp is finished. Let's go back to our adjustable grip hitch, and we're going to tighten up the rope by sliding our knot down the ridge line. See now, as I slide this, it starts to get tighter in the middle. Now the only thing left to do is take the other end of the tarp, and just like our last shelter, I'm going to pull it back and I'm going to stake it down with some sticks. I'll show you something real quick. Talk about staking down the tarp. So when I'm doing a stake, I want to put the stake in at an angle. So here's my stick. I don't want to put it straight down in because whenever it pulls this way, it's just going to pull the stake with it. So I'm going to put it in about a 45-degree angle and as deep as I can get it. Okay? So have the back side staked down. And around front, you see we have the one-sided shelter. It does offer a lot more room. So you could have two, I'd say about 3 people in the shelter. The only problem is there's no shelter to the front, so we want to make sure whenever I build it, the wind is coming from my back, that it protects the wind from hitting. If the wind comes from this direction, it acts more like a sail, and it's going to try to blow away.